Hello, everyone. This is Millie Weaver and
Tore.
So, first of all, I want to say it's good to be back. I'm so happy and relieved and grateful that I have my freedom back right now. And I also have my children back right now, which means so much to me. And I just can't even express how grateful I am to all of the many people out there that came to my aid, that supported me through this hard time while I was being attacked. I know Tori also helped me so much, and I'm forever grateful to her. I can't really go too much into the court case details because it is still an ongoing matter. The judge did say in the court hearing that I'm not allowed to say that this has anything to do with a government conspiracy. Otherwise, I'm going to be put back in jail.
Yeah, but your court date's on election day, so it's totally not political.
Well, that's for another conversation. But we really wanted to come on here today to address Shadowgate. Now, I didn't get to see everything that went on because I was in a jail cell and I was being humiliated, having my privacy taken from me, starving because they were giving me food that I could not tolerate and eat because I have lactose intolerance. I have other food sensitivities. I mean, I was going through a rough time. I was crying a lot. I'm not going to lie. And it was hard. Okay. It was a life-changing experience, to say the least. So I will say that I felt your prayers. I felt the prayers from those of you guys that were praying for me and my family. Sorry. I didn't want to cry again. I didn't want to cry. I felt your prayers. So thank you. I'm forever grateful for the prayers and for you guys raising that GoFundMe for legal defense. And that money is going to be going directly into a legal account managed by lawyers. And it's going to be used to protect myself and my children who they tried to take from me. So it was a scary experience.
Didn't let that happen.
She had my back. So it was a scary time. It still is a scary time. We're still being monitored. And, we have to do everything right. But let's get back to Shadowgate because I don't want to just cry a bunch and make my makeup all crazy. But let's address some of Shadowgate now.
Wait. Well, before we get to Shadowgate, I just thought, we should have our thoughts and prayers with Steve Bannon. I mean, personally for me, Steve Bannon, what happened to him really hits home to me. It's a common MO. I am a Trump loyalist. I am a constitutionalist, and I expose dirty people because I had access to everything. So I know what they talk about. And this was something that came at me, Millie, believe it or not. Well, but you guys don't, because I don't talk about it, where they try to wrap me up in a bow like they did him, but they failed. So instead, they were filing 1,000 papers a day to try to smear me in a civil suit because they didn't have anything. So this is totally big league. I eat an attorney general from North Dakota for lunch. So I don't care because I've got everybody's balls in my purse, guys. So let's talk Shadowgate. Let's just talk about, how who else was it? See, me and Patrick Berge we don't get the right to be protected by whistleblower.
They don't have whistleblower protections. So that's one of the things that you got to realize when they're coming out like this, they're risking themselves. They aren't afforded the same whistleblower protections as somebody that was directly employed, say someone that was directly working for the NSA,
Snowden.
Like Snowden. But that's on purpose, okay? That's how they designed the system so that they have all these private contracted out companies with private contractor employees, okay? So that then if those people try to come forward, well, they're having a hard time. And that's where they keep all of the dark projects, okay? The clandestine operations so that they don't have to deal with the blowback of someone that might have whistleblower protections ratting them out.
Yeah, well, when Snowden came out, the media just started reporting it, right? No, fact checking, no anything. If I have to say, one media outlet was super nice, even though they debunked Shadowgate, right? And that was a USA Today, a very nice email from Matthew, so professional. He ran background checks on all of us, so that came up empty. But, he claimed that me and Bergie, he couldn't confirm where we worked. And the thing is, if anyone even read, my civil suit that's up at the Supreme Court right now, they would have seen that in there it says that I've been working for Global Strategies Group, and the nature of my work is classified because I had an attorney general try to unmask me through civil lawsuit. And I couldn't sit there and say, you're unmasking me because people like me don't exist.
Look, guys, here's the thing. When Tore and Patrick Bergie first came to me, we did our due diligence. We fact checked everything. We researched everything out. Much of what they're saying and who they are could be verified through public records that were available. And that is why, if you go to the websites of many of these private contracted companies, they've actually started pulling some of their pages after we released Shadowgate, the documentary. Why is Shadowgate, the documentary, being banned on YouTube, on all these social media platforms?
Globally. I've had people contact me from countries like Africa saying, oh my God, you guys are going to get killed, because half of them know. And I've also had people still within the IC community and those that have retired saying, I can't believe you came out. And the thing is, what people don't seem to understand is the same thing. You can collect whatever you want online. It doesn't mean it's yours. I can create anything I want about you. And for someone to even sit there and claim something that was never my page as their own was just like, I serve my country, man. And I served it in the most messed up way. And in 2008, when I saw what these private contractors that have everybody's data, not just Verizon, like Snowden made it to believe, who, by the way, was in China. These people, when I saw something, I spoke up, because there is a limit somewhere, and I got punished for that.
And Patrick Bergie spoke up because there's a limit in running military grade psychological weapons on the American people through IAA operations. That is huge. That is something that everyone should be against and everyone should be fighting against. We don't want our own, weapons systems that were developed in the military industrial complex that then were bought and put into the privatized sector. We don't want those weapons being used on the American people. That's a major problem right there. So, I'm grateful that Patrick Bergie came out and Tore came out, and they are really risking themselves by coming forward with this information. There's, in the documentary, we were very thorough. We provided a lot of documents, everything. And, Tore, I know she would love to be able to provide even more, but I
have to do that in Congress in a closed session where I can actually provide them information that they can verify, because I've been put up against the wall. My life was given a colonoscopy, you guys, and they couldn't find anything. They wanted me so bad for exposing human trafficking, law enforcement cooperation with Sinaloa cartels. I've been doing this for a while. This isn't my first rodeo. I worked with Andrew Breitbart. He's the one that actually gave me the journalistic bug. Right. And then I was working on the Brennan piece with Hastings when he was killed. So, this isn't my first rodeo. I'm just a person of the shadows. And, I never nobody ever thinks, how can I feel when I can't tell anyone what I do for a living? It's just what my assignment was at that point. Like, people really don't get it. And I really put myself out there. My life, ever since I came out forward to expose them in 2017, has been literally flipped upside down.
It's crazy.
Well, yeah.
Well, speaking of Trump's tweet, Trump just tweeted out today
about cancel culture,
about how you get attacked. Now, Tore and Bergie, them coming out is a big deal. But Tore, I also want to ask you, what do you expect to come from coming out with this information? What do you want Congress, our representatives, the president? What do you want to happen from all this?
Well, one thing that should have happened already, but we saw a little bit, right, is that all these contracting companies first round, were taking down all their board of director pages, all of their management pages, because they knew that everyone was looking and that all their persons would be put under scrutiny. But guys, you don't have to look there. I can tell you where to go look. Go look at the receipts of what we've paid. Today, you know, Steve Bannon, right? By the way, he was arrested on an indictment with fraud. He's going to be fine because, you know, one of those four is people like me, probably. I'm alleging, of course, and he'll be fine. But what did I see a couple of weeks ago after Berman was fired? You know, the prosecutor in New York, there were phone calls between a couple of people in the New York Attorney General. It's the same New York Attorney General that ran and said, elect me because I will get Trump. What all of you don't see who are jumping ship on Bannon is that they had a criminal indictment on him and they really don't care about the fraud. He didn't need the money. They were doing it so they can listen to his phone calls. If you read the indictment, they were looking at texts.
Well,
they were trying to get.
Wait a second. Indictments give someone the ability to listen to phone calls. Didn't they have a secret indictment on me while we were orchestrating our? I mean, let's stay out of that.
Yeah,
okay?
yeah, no.
But
We shouldn't. But we should say that the event that happened actually happened in April. Yeah. That they then got the first indictment.
Okay, wait. Let's not talk about it. We can't talk about it.
No, because she'll go to jail. The judge said, "I am going to send you to jail if you talk about it." So it's not even a gag order. She just said you're going straight to jail.
I did see someone in the comments say something about, did you see Caitlin Bennett's video on you?
Nobody cares. Who's that?
Yeah. Well, I guess you don't see it when someone stabs you in the back. So I haven't seen anything like that. But I have seen a lot of people out there slandering me and acting as though they are fact witnesses.
But you have a war chest now.
Yeah. Well, I've seen a lot of people slandering me and acting as though they're fact witnesses in my case when, you know, I think people are just taking opportunities to kick me when I'm down and to, you know, be crabs in the bucket and try to tear me down right now. And, you know, it's sad. It's sad when you've helped people, when you've supported them and stood by them, and then you see them just turn on you in an instant. It's ridiculous.
They use tragedies that happen to you against you.
It's crazy.
You know, they talk as if they know you. I bet you nobody went through my.
If you've ever been through a hard time in your life, you know, you've probably experienced something similar to this, but I don't think I've ever experienced something this quite like this in my life. And it's been very eye-opening to see who my true friends are and who are not my true friends, you know? So, and
yeah, well, you stood up for me when my life crumbled. I didn't even expect it. You know, I didn't. And you were totally there for me and kept me sane, because when my life crumbled the same day, what was it? Attempted murder, something else that I don't want to talk about for the privacy of victim. And I was served for Seth Rich all on the same day. Like, you can't even make that stuff up. It's as if someone was trying to push me off a cliff, but I digress.
That's the Seth Rich stuff is pretty interesting, but we'll save that for another
That's
video.
for the other video.
Yeah,
we can't talk about that.
That's for another video.
That's for another video. So, so what we need to have, what should have happened is arrests. These people should have been arrested.
Yes.
We showed you that Congress's communications, phone calls, and emails are being housed in Germany. And we're not just saying it. The evidence is on the receipts because you paid for it. Your tax dollars paid to give Germany unfettered access to Congress. I mean, that's how I heard Schiff.
Okay, let's address the Roger Stone misrepresentations and misinterpretations.
What was that?
I don't understand where this is coming from. Literally, you watch the documentary and you can clearly see that in the documentary, it actually vindicates Stone. It shows that Stone was a victim of a psyop. It shows that Stone was a Trump loyalist. I don't understand why some people, let's just say that, are saying that, you know, that we were trying to paint Stone as though he was some deep state kingpin. That's absolutely far from, so far
That's
from
so
reality.
way. I've spent a year and a half trying to wrap my head around how they were entrapping him by using the actual version of Shadownet to select his jury. So you guys, just so you know, next time you're in court They have this software where if you go to court and the prosecutor wants you in, well, they always do because they always want to win, right? What they do is they put in all the people in your area that can be part of the jury pool, run it through a system where they crunch all the numbers, health, dental, insurance records, education records, all your social media, all your texts, all your phone calls. And then they discern from all of the jury pool, millions at once. This is how fast it'll crunch it. Which people you should put forward for the jury pool
for a selected outcome.
Yeah, for a selected outcome. So if you want the person innocent, which I doubt any prosecutor wants, you would give them a jury pool. And this is how they framed Roger Stone. So I've been working on that on my own to figure out where the contracts are and to help him, because with his appeal,
and that was mentioned in the documentary.
It was in the documentary.
Mentioned in the so I don't know if this is all just a big miscommunication. I don't know what the heck is going on and why I was just, somehow Alex interpreted it that way. And then he discontinued our work relationship. I don't understand what in the world is going on with all of this. I don't know what to think of it, honestly.
I don't either. I mean, all the reporting that we've been doing, I've been doing it through the radio, which, by the way, I got canceled there too. Not only canceled, but the people that had the radio station had my website and emails on a server. And they haven't given that back to me when I own that domain. I think that's theft. But, this is how bad cancel culture is. And the president put out a really good tweet earlier today that not a tweet. He made a statement. And that was a great statement, which is, where is it? They want to cancel you. Totally cancel you. Take your job, turn your family against you for speaking your mind while they indoctrinate your children with twisted worldviews that nobody ever thought possible. And, I'm kind of glad that in yesterday's press conference, the president gave, a good nod to the work that we've been doing in regards to using this reality hacking that we've been seeing, which is those IIAs that we've been talking about. If you watch the movie, for little by little too, just to prime the audience so they can understand. These are programs. These are plans. This is why you're seeing what you're seeing in Portland, what you're seeing in Chicago, and even in Belarus today. Have you seen those videos out there where it shows all the mainstream media news pundits all saying the exact same talking points against someone? I mean, these things are orchestrated, and that's what Patrick Berge was pointing out with Shadownet and IIA. Right. Because back then, what we could do is put, like in Afghanistan, or was it Iraq, that he said that they threw out flyers in the air. They used that software. Keep in mind, I didn't do any of the reality hacking, right? With Shadownet. My job was energy and finance. So, obviously I'm a ghost, but I'm not supposed to file any breads. I'm not supposed to file taxes when I'm overseas, but I kind of slid one in, and if they actually look, they'd see. I'm just dropping a hint to whoever's watching. So I did file that one. Yeah. I have to keep my back. I have to keep some butter, and they know that it's there. So the thing is,
Tore worked for John Brennan at GSG.
Well, John Brennan set up the whole company with Saudis when he left, and this is privatized. Let me explain to you guys what Snowden did. So I want you to imagine a big sink. And every text, every email, every search, every voicemail, every conversation you have flows into this big fat sink, and it sits there for 72 hours. And then they supposedly drain the plug. Well, what Snowden did was he put in an algorithm that every time something would enter into that sink, it would be shipped overseas. And guess where it would sit? On John Brennan's servers. So that should alarm you, that the richest people on the world can delete you, They can destroy you. They know everything about you. And this is all about.
And the worst part is they can blackmail your politicians.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
I could if I wanted to.
If there's stuff out there.
There's a lot out there.
So, if they can, then they most likely are.
And that's what's funny. Why don't we have any laws about blackmailing people? Because Clear Force, which is one of General Jones's companies, actually runs a program that our tax dollars is paying for to check every individual they hire to see what potential threat they may be.
Oh, like Minority Report.
Right, exactly. And you'll get fired before you even get hired.
Yeah, they run everything through their AI algorithms to see if you would be predicted to be somebody that in the future would be a whistleblower.
Right.
It would want to leak stuff. So if you don't pass the whiff test for the bow down to Big Brother, oh, sorry, you just didn't get the job, and you'll never really know why.
Yeah, and when I say that I heard Adam Schiff's phone calls, I literally heard his phone calls because they're housed in that server, and I had a username and password, and it was a private company, and I've been saying it all along. I heard them at the Munich conference in 2019 where they were discussing Biden's run because he didn't want to run because he didn't want to run. I heard Yovanovitch complaining about Giuliani. I heard her complaining about how the Ukrainians are complaining that, they're not giving them the visas to come to the US and how everything's being delayed. I heard how they were selecting a whistleblower. They were picking people out to throw as a whistle. They had no whistleblower. It was a wiretap. The IG of the NSA created the National Corruption Bureau of the Ukraine with his wife, Bill Taylor, and Kent. And Kent and Taylor, they testified against the president. It's like, how do you win? Like when the president says this is a witch hunt, it's a freaking witch hunt. Yeah. And Bannon is impeachment version number 2. They've been listening to all the phone calls Bannon's had with anyone within the Trump campaign, anyone that trusted him, text messages, emails, they monitored everything. And you people still don't get it. And then those that sit on this high throne of, I'm all about free speech, I don't like cancel culture, are the first to cancel when the little trolls come out. Oh, and by the way, trolls. What is it? What's that saying that they say about trolls?
Don't feed the trolls.
Do you know why they do that? Because there's a program for that. Have you ever been on customer service? Because, I quantum compute. So when you get on customer service and you're asking questions, customer service learns. And that's the things. Yeah, they come in and they respond to what you respond. This is how you get people interacting with Swallowwell. Like, who would want to talk to him and give him the time of day? Or like Caitlin Bennett. Like, I would never give her the time of day. She's her friend, so I'm not going to talk too much smack.
Oh, she's not my friend.
Well, you were friends.
No,
yeah, but you totally were. But the thing is, the president loved the fact that, there are people out there that are writing reports that are exposing all of these programs. And that's only movie number 1, right? Because we've been working on a lot.
All kinds of comments in here. Wow.
Yeah, well, there's tons. There's so many. But the thing is, when they say don't feed the trolls, everybody thinks that a troll farm is like some, person in India or China or Russia sitting in front of like 20 screens. We're more sophisticated than that. We have, it's an Alice bot, and there's 20 of them that come in. And once you stop talking, so do the bots. And that's the thing. You can see it. And some people are unwilling assets too. I mean, oh man, what they did to Bannon, I'm pissed. And you know why I'm pissed? Because this is impeachment round 2, and all of you are falling for it rather than seeing right through it.
We need to be uniting during this time, really and truly, and we need to be working together, exposing all of this. I mean, because this documentary
can't be debunked.
Well, this documentary wasn't just I'd say it's pretty bipartisan, wouldn't you?
It is.
I mean, it points out that there are a lot of Republicans that have blackmail on them, like these Republican congressmen, senators. It might explain why so many of them had their chains pulled and turned on Trump at the dime of a hat. I mean, we saw Mitt Romney, all these
all
other,
of them.
you
And
know.
and you know what's fun? That when people actually go after people that are exposing the fourth unelected branch, these Praetorians, right, that think they know better for you, the military industrial complex that I so served. Oh, and by the way, did I tell you that breadcrumb I left just for back was Bear Stearns, you know, with Enron? Do you remember what I did with Enron about a year ago, Millie? Do you remember that? For you trolls, do you remember what I did with Enron? Was that okay? So I'll help. So last year, I found that an Enron case in Ohio had just gone dead. You remember that? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Guys, you have never seen a court move so fast. All they saw was my name fly across the screen. I'll tell you what, I've had agencies. I swear, I'm not kidding you. I've had an agency where I said, hey, why is the state tax commissioner not asking, you know, for this airplane to pay tax? And they were like, oh no, she sent us an email. Shred. Yes, that's what's up. And for all you that troll me, come at me. Use my tragedy. Be losers. But I eat all of you for lunch and I have all your balls in my purse, and just come at me because I've probably seen more. I mean, I did remove the passport data from the State Department as I was directed. And that means I saw stuff. And I'm still here too.
Yeah. And well, okay. We're having fun right now. We're obviously having fun.
I am.
We've been attacked a lot. And so it's, you know, but at the same time, in reality, I will say that I have been fearful of my safety. I have been scared. You know, my address was doxed. So were news outlets that published it. And I mean, we've had weirdos driving up. We've had stalker people pulling into our driveway, getting out of their vehicles. I mean, you know, am in fear of my safety right now. And last thing we want, any of us, is, you know, to get disappeared. And Tore just needs to get before Congress. So I'm going to ask
Patrick
all of you.
Bergey's actually going to be down there.
Yes.
If you guys are around DC, Patrick Bergey on Saturday is going to be outside of Capitol Hill protesting about the congressional management system. And I told him, chant, Tore heard you, Adam Schiff. She heard everything, because it's housed in Germany. These are things that are important. All of you should care. Stop the trolling. Our goal is the elections, but you're going to have court that day, but it's not political. So stop the trolling. Focus on what is there. Think, why is this movie banned globally?
Yeah.
Why did these companies that are so huge, which by the way, rip you off like nobody's business.
What did you say happened with YouTube the day that?
Oh yeah,
Shadowgate
they changed the rules, something about hacking or something.
Oh yeah,
but they called it hate speech, and it's like, yeah, it's freaking hate speech to the fourth unelected branch of government.
Pointing out that they're criminals. I guess that's hate speech.
Yeah, it's totally hate speech. And the thing is, you see where the silence sits, where no one takes it. Because, you know, even though USA Today's article could have been trolly, he was so professional, he didn't really debunk it. You know, I told him, he said, prove where you work. And I said, yeah, I can't give you classified stuff.
He said that that it was riddled with false information.
Well, where is it?
Where? Show it. Show what was false. Prove what was false.
Wait, and people saw Roger Stone's picture and said, that's why he's a kingpin. No, man. You know who Roger Stone is? He's a badass, right? He has been skirting both orbits since the Nixon time. He is the insider of the insiders with snazzy socks. He is the one, you know, that keeps everybody on their toes. And if anybody looked at the graphic, it shows how he's connected with Manafort and how they were all connected in the past to these people. Doesn't say they work for them. That's not how tree diagrams work. But, you know, not everyone's an expert at tree diagrams, unfortunately.
And here's the other thing. Patrick Bergey shows and admits that he worked for Jones.
Right.
General Jones.
And it's on his website. And I remember telling Gavin.
So does that make Patrick Bergey like an evil villain just because he worked for General Jones? Well, no, he's coming out and he's trying to let everyone know and expose what's been going on. So
yeah, well, I've had people tell me that I have put, you know, that I claim things about my service. And it's like, did you listen to the video? I told you exactly about my service, because I can't talk about my service because it's classified. I'm supposed to be not existent. Hello. But I did talk about it. I made it clear. Made it super crystal clear. So the thing is that while all of you are talking about rubbish, Oh no, Corona.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing is in jail. Okay, in jail, I'm going to tell you a jail story.
That's so awesome.
I have jail stories now. Isn't that crazy? Okay. In jail, they made everyone wear a mask. Okay. Everyone had to wear a mask in jail, which was kind of ironic because when they first put me in a holding cell, they made us sit on the cold, dirty cement floor. Oh, sorry, there's not enough places to sit. Guess you'll have to sit on the floor for 12 hours. Okay. So I had to sit on the floor and everyone had to use the same toilet, no soap, no antibacterial soap, nothing. Everything there was dirty. The sheets were dirty. They gave me dirty sheets that had someone else's long black hairs on it. I mean, yet at the same time, they made everyone wear a mask the entire time. And, okay, Tori had a little coughing fit right there. Hopefully it's not the Rona. I'm just kidding, Tori.
Oh my God.
So,
well, if people look, someone violated HIPAA in my in their court filings to slander me on civil suit. Oh my gosh,
crazy. So, anyway, basically in jail they make everyone wear the stupid Corona masks, and it's completely pointless. So it's pointless as much as it is out in public in the real world as it is in jail. So.
Well, masks don't work. I mean, if you're wearing one and you're happy with it, why are you making me?
It just goes that what I realized is they're going to enforce the mask rule. Like when I was in jail, just because they have to enforce, they're going to enforce a rule. And even though it makes no sense, even though they're making everyone use the same toilet, sit on the cement hard floor that's dirty and nasty.
And the same toilets with the sink that Ocasio-Cortez said it's not good for illegal migrants. But it's totally fine for American citizens.
Yeah, and I thought we were innocent until proven guilty. So
right. Let me see where it is. Wait. Oh gosh.
So
okay.
Anyway,
our audios. Are you guys there? Because it's I think it's crashing because there's it's thousands. Oh my gosh, tons of people. So let's talk Shadowgate, you guys. So what you have to understand is that these people should be arrested. They should be arrested.
Yes.
These companies should not exist. One thing about contracting companies, so that you understand how they operate, is that they get a contract. So for example, the Mueller team, the Department of Justice, right? While Mueller was investigating, right? He hired a firm of Canadians. Well, not him. It was Loeffner, right? Mm-hmm. He's a career official, the same guy that signs off on all the contracts at the Department of Justice. So we spent $40 million on a Canadian company for waste management, like paper shredding. So the question is, why do we pay $40 million to a company to do paper shredding or emptying garbage or sweeping?
And foreign companies.
Right. And foreign companies.
This is an American election and we're worried about foreign interference, and we're going to have a foreign country do the investigate.
I know it makes absolutely no sense. And not only that, we're losing money because these people, when they get the contract, right, they'll have some of their own people. But what they do is they find, say, for example, I get paid by the government $100 to paper shred. I'll find Millie and say, I'll pay you $60 to paper shred. She's like, yeah, sure. Millie will call her friend. I'll pay you $40 to paper shred. And then all these people just stole your money when they could have just went to the person that's actually doing the paper shredding for $20. They are defrauding the government with these systems. I mean, we could have so many jobs within the government for American citizens if we didn't hire these companies, and they're all retired generals. Oh, speaking.
And talk about Germany with the congressional management system.
Right. Why do we have Germans? And why did we spend, what was it, 40 or 75
million?
Does
that sound sketchy to you guys to have the congressional management system server in Germany?
Yeah. Where it's overseas, where they, have all of the information that Congress has. Wait, what did Brennan say when Brennan got caught for this, that he was sharing the data. Oh my God, I'm dying.
All right. So I don't know what's going on with Tori right now. She's coughing. Hopefully I didn't give her coronavirus, because who knows what in the hell I've been exposed to since I was in jail right now. But I just wanted to clear up some of these misconceptions surrounding Shadowgate. And I wanted to call upon you guys to pressure Congress, pressure the Senate, pressure the president, pressure everyone that we need to have congressional investigations, congressional hearings. We have Tore and Patrick Berge who are willing to come forward as witnesses and may even have some information that they could offer up to them to lead to the arrest of these people that are controlling the deep state and controlling the American people, controlling the election outcomes, controlling everything. I mean, this is some serious stuff right here, guys. It's pretty bad. Well, since Tore and I have both been under attack, unprecedented attack, really and truly, I no longer have a source of income. Tore no longer has a source of income. We have pretty much just been left to our own right now. We have no way of continuing to support our work. So if you guys want to continue to support work, you can go to Millie Weaver on Subscribestar. I'm not exactly sure. I think Tore has a Patreon or a Subscribestar as well. So I'm sure she'll tweet out. I will tweet that out for her after I get off of this live stream. But we need your help right now, guys. We're under attack, and we need to be able to continue to do the and work. Mainstream media journalists, many other journalists won't cover this. So we're going to do our best to continue so that something can happen. Because we can continue to this racket, this blackmail racket, cartel cabal to control our country and run it into the ground. Because think of it, whoever's got the blackmail, whoever's got the power, they have the control. And what happened, whoever that person is that has all the power? I mean, John, I don't know, other people. What happens to blackmail on them? What happens when foreign countries are able to or who knows how this blackmail? It's not in the American people's best interests by any means. Okay, Tore.
Really agree with me. Did you figure this out?
Yeah, I think so.
Sorry, guys.
Well, I was just telling
my
people,
HIPAA was violated, so that's actually public record. I don't have rights because I whistleblow. Go on.
Okay, so I was just telling people how they could support me. So give people your Patreon or Subscribestar, Tore, so that
they could find me on Tore Says. I just wanted to say, I'm shocked that no one has demanded arrests. I'm shocked that no one has demanded answers. I'm shocked that no one has been locked up for this. It's kind of like, how we see Hillary Clinton out there. What Shadowgate gave you was a blueprint of exactly how they operate, how they do this, how they deploy these programs. What you see going on with riots and Black Lives Matter are all programs. These are weapons that we deploy to our enemies. And sometimes Berge refers to it, and I cringe when he does it, though. Right? We don't always have to agree that sometimes we can deploy psychological operations to avoid war, that we can subdue them. But hijacking someone's thoughts is just not right, because that's where you lose your freedom. And what people need to understand is the United States of America is the only nation right now on the planet that on paper is free. Because when people come out and they tell you everything there is to know, the hard truth, and you don't even know half of it, because if you knew all of it, you'd be like, whoa, I've been living in like a faux soft kind of thing of Venezuela. You've not had any elections without being hijacked. You think you voted for Obama? No, you didn't. You think you voted for Clinton? That didn't happen either. And Bush 41 was a 3-term president because they silenced Ronald Reagan at the get-go. Yes, he was talking, but it was him that was running the show. His son, that tool that used his influence from his daddy to mess up Bahrain, all of them.
It's like the left foot and the right foot. It's all the same. It's connected to the same beast. But that is why, you see, Trump has been attacked so hard, is because he wasn't one of them. And they did not like that someone who was an outsider was able to actually win and get into office, and they don't have a way to control him. I mean, trust me, if there was something really bad on Trump out there, it would have already been out of here. I mean, they threw everything they could at him. Everything. We've seen it. We saw the witch hunt. We saw all these like, hit
how many lawsuits?
PP-gate.
Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. Let's talk PP-gate for a second, guys. I was earshot to McCain and Lindsey Graham talking about the dossier the day Harry Reid. Do you guys know who Harry Reid is? So this dude, right, Millie? This guy is such a tool. He had a TheraBand. Guys, Google what a TheraBand is. He's such an idiot that he hit himself with that exercise thing, right? And he tried to sue them for being such a tool and can't use it. But by the way, there were rumors that in Nevada, he would stroll at brothels and have girls pee on them. Maybe he contributed to the dossier. Because the dossier, just for you guys know, when I see reporters on both sides, right, it's unacceptable. They're pushing the dossier, and I understand why they're doing it, because they're spoon feeding. Because if you understand the actual crimes that the dossier is covering, you'd be pissed. And guess what those crimes are? The ones that we told you about in Shadowgate. They used those. Anyway, so he went and talked to Mother Jones. He was the one that gave all the dibs. And speaking of the dossier and the IG of the NSA, where they're getting all their information, on September 26th, Carlin resigned because he submitted those 702 certs, right? And that happened on September 26th. You know who the judge was? Spanking, Clapper, Lynch, and Brennan, and Comey for all these violations. Her name was Judge Rosemary Collier. And that happened September 2016. October 2016, Judge Rosemary Collier signed the FISA warrant for Carter Page when she already knew that they were using NSA information, that they've been spying on the Trump campaign from like 2014, actually longer than that. Well, it's longer than that, but we want to say 2014.
Could you talk about the text message over the dossier?
Can't talk about that in public, kind of. But I guess I'll be in Congress with a GoPro, because there will be no classified sessions when it talks about crimes. We'll talk about how Bill Taylor and Kent were in on this. You know, that's what needs to be done. Where's Eric Ciaramella? You know who we need to call? What the hell? Where's Gina Haspel? Is she half asleep? Like, she was in AIPAC. We all know that Snowden went to Hong Kong and China. Everyone's pushing, Russia. No, he went to China. You know,
crazy.
They will never talk bad about China. What is it? Day 3 at the DNC. And I guess coronavirus is Trump's fault. Now it's a Trump virus. It's not a China virus. But what else do we have?
So what do you think is going to happen with Bannon? Bannon getting arrested.
He was framed.
He was framed.
Yeah.
He's going to get out, get off?
Well, it's going to come out.
Or do you think they're going to try to use it to get him to try to turn on someone or do anything?
Well, I think that one of the 3 people that are named, aside from Bannon, because there's 4. So one of the 3 actually was put up to doing this stuff. Could be, because it could have been posed as something legit. See, the big boys, when they go big league, right, they come at you with lawsuits. Like for me, I went to court and they were like, "You're a charity." I was like, "But I'm not." "You totally are." "Who said so?" "We do." Do you have a complaint?" "No." "Do you have a monetary law?" "No." "Then why am I here?" "Because we said so." Yeah, poke that. And then they did all these secret subpoenas.
It does seem like the law kind of comes down pretty one-sided.
It does. It does. Because when I was supposed to be afforded, privacy, victim privacy?
No.
They, first time in the history of the whole state, they forgot to redact the name. Yeah, totally. Big fat loose lawsuit coming. And you know who it was? Of course, it was MSDNC that got it, even though it was supposed to be, I'm Jane Doe, and they didn't care. So, all this stuff is,
it's crazy.
It is. But you don't have any rights. You don't have rights. When you go up the deep state, you have no rights whatsoever. But the thing is, all of you clowns, all of you judges, we're going to eat you for lunch, because America's united and we dig like nobody's business. Nobody's business. And you know what? You think you've seen what's up. You think that what you see is what you get. That's only the tip of the iceberg. Everyone's going down like the Titanic. And the more ships that are sinking in your jumping ship, the more the president and the rest of us pay attention to know which side you sit on. Are you for America or are you for self-preservation?
Are you for America or are you for the deep state?
Well, it's self-preservation. They just want to be, head down.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you're going to go along with the deep state, even if it means, some of these people just want the money, they want the power, they want to have that luxury lifestyle. If they're willing to sell out their fellow countrymen, sell out their country, then they're for the deep state. They're traitors and they need to be locked away.
And I also wanted to say thank you. Sorry, guys. I started some new medicine for my ailment and it's not agreeing with me. I wanted to say thank you to those law firms that reached out to me for the libel and everything. I appreciate your support. It's been humbling. It's been very humbling. And I'm glad that the president is taking a stronger stance. I like him. He's a bit of a lion now.
And we've had a lot of support, and we appreciate the support from all of you guys out there coming out and, promoting Shadowgate, because the most important thing right now is to just get the information out there, get as much attention on it as we can. Please keep uploading it. The social media sites are all taking it down. Gee, I mean, it couldn't be. Why is Facebook taking it down? It couldn't be because, Atlantic Council or some of these other companies, right?
Yeah, Jones Group, Clear Force. They all have contracts. Wait a minute. Doesn't Facebook work with them? Yes, they do. So Facebook.
I wonder why. Oh, and by the way, Facebook actually gave me 2 community violations today on the video of that doctor. Remember Dr. Emmanuel,
yes,
who was before DC with the doctors, the frontline doctors.
Weeks ago.
Yeah, that was I don't know if it was a month ago or what, but out of nowhere, I had a video of her or a post of her that I put on my Facebook page. Out of nowhere, they just flagged that today, and they flagged 2 things today. I wonder if I'm going to be on Facebook for much longer. So I don't even know how much longer I'm going to be on YouTube or any of these social media platforms, because it seems people are banning me left and right. I'm being censored. They're banning the content, especially. That's
the thing is, we got, what was it? The last message that I got on my email was from Nigeria, and they're watching Shadowgate. This has gone global. And I don't know, what you guys think.
Brazil, all other people in other countries are watching it. And, because it does pertain to the entire world.
Because they have everybody's information. And the thing is, that's why I say we should defund the UN. I mean, why are we spending our money? I don't
understand. Some of these technologies, not only do they violate your rights, they compromise our government, but it's also scary because they're reeling in a technocracy. They're reeling in the ability for absolute control of the American people, who knows if Americas even exist. Yeah. I mean, they want a global world order. I mean, that's what it
is. Yeah, but that's what it is, you guys. Imagine, why else would they pool? Think about it. I've told this to people and they're like, So when the Belgian bomber happened, the FBI came up with his profile, from facial recognition. Why do we have a foreigner's information in our database? We didn't. We used a database that Brennan had set up with the Saudis, and everyone's feeding that intelligence. To ask yourself, why are we still paying the former GCHQ director, Robert Hannigan, for his company to be expert witnesses at Bannon's grand jury? Come on. This is, and we paid for it. $25,000 a pop for expert witness. It's on record. You can find the receipts. I tweeted it out, but Twitter didn't like that. So they took it all down because all the evidence was there. The pictures with the phones, the snapshots, everything. They took it. They took my work so that I can't prove that I know what I'm talking about, and everyone else is just parroting 3 a.m/4 a.m. drop hint points. That's the thing. The world knows now. You guys have the blueprint. Now it's up to you to fight and demand that people get accountable.
Exactly.
Patrick Berge is going to be in DC. He's in DC now.
Saturday at 12 p.m. outside of the Capitol. If you guys would like to go out there with him and protest and demand that action is taken, investigations are started because these whistleblowers are coming forward and the information that they have presented, please go join Patrick Berge outside and help support this, guys. We need to get something done about this.
Yeah, he's going to go protest at the Congressional Management Knowledge System, which means all of their information is housed in Germany. Do you trust Merkel? She couldn't even stand. She was shaking like, I can't even stand her.
The EU, all of these people.
All of them, they're like corrupt globalists.
Look at the power they can have.
They're anti-Semitic too.
That's crazy. I mean, this whole thing is the amount of corruption is insane.
And that's the thing, because we've given you the blueprint. Don't just sit on it.
Don't just sit on it. And remember that, they have 6 ways from Sunday at getting back at you. Yeah. So
I'm number 7.
Yeah.
Because I've seen everything, and all of you can laugh, but I have. That's why I'm still here. And I've been saying it for years and years and years. Even the guy that's suing me, that attorney general, heard and saw everything. That's why I'm 10 steps ahead. I just had to wait for the Supreme Court so I could remove you.
So guys, please remember to share Shadowgate. I just recently, today, was finally able to upload Shadowgate, the documentary, on my website, millennialmillie.com. I mean, it took me that long. The thing's been out since Friday, and I'm just now finally getting to upload it on my channel because of everything that happened. And for those of the people out there trying to say that, that this was some big charade or setup and, that I planned all this, I'm sorry, but how do you know about a secret grand jury indictment that you were not anticipating, or you know what I mean? Like, this was something that was crazy out of the blue. I had no, what in the world is going on? I mean, none of it made any sense to me. It didn't. I'm still bewildered by the whole thing. To be honest, I'm still
I'm bewildered. I called Alex Jones and I was super hoping, Millie.
Yeah, let's not get into that stuff. We're not going to get into that. We're not. But basically, the whole thing is insane. And to say, for some people to say that this was somehow staged, really? My son was crying on the porch because he was watching his mom and dad be taken away.
He also said,
and arrested.
Chuck, grab the BB gun.
Yeah, he did. I've raised him right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But here's the thing, guys. That's just crazy that some people would say stuff like that. I mean, it makes no sense. You all know what happened. There were people outside videotaping me when I got released from jail. Yeah. I mean, it is interesting because it was right when we were uploading. Right when we were uploading it and sending it to Tore.
Yep.
It was literally we transferring, okay, when this all happened. Wild.
It was insane. And I couldn't believe it. And I was like, are you sure? I actually called Patrick Berge. I kid you not, guys. And I'm like, dude, Patrick, we're being played. These cops didn't know why they were arresting her. And then they were arresting just Gavin. And then they were arresting Millie. And in the end, they arrested Chuck. And I'm like, they all three have the same identity. It just seems like a ruse. I said it. I worked in this domain. And it looked like a total, but it wasn't.
Not to mention, go watch the video. They initially said burglary.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And that's what the paperwork said. When they first gave to me, that then they took away and gave me other paperwork. But we'll get into that another time. I
want to get into it now. No, what? They switched?
Yeah, we'll get. I can't really talk. I'm not going to talk about it.
She can't talk about it.
But here's the thing. Weird. Another jail story that I'll tell you guys is that it was interesting because when we got out of jail, I found out that my brother and Gavin were separated in separate areas. They could not have them in the same, I guess, living community areas where they have commissaries. And I guess I'm learning this terminology, but the general they couldn't be they were in separate men's areas. I was in a separate women's area. Okay. I found out from them that the men's showers had curtains.
But the women's didn't.
The women's did not. And the women's also had a camera pointed at it. So that was interesting to find that out, that why did the men's showers have curtains and not the women's showers? And they had a control room down there with all these people, officers, whatever, sitting down there watching the security cameras 24/7. I mean, this is insanity, guys. This doesn't seem right. Something seems very wrong about, that in my mind, like that the women didn't get curtains, but the men. Maybe someone there can explain that to me, because that was kind of confusing. And I didn't learn about that till after I got out. So, yeah.
Well, I want to say a lot about Portage County, but I'm going to hold it for the further digs that I'm doing into Wex.
But anyway, I think we've been on here too long.
Yes.
I don't want to say too much.
Well, no, what I want to reinforce, you guys
out.
Go to DC, support Patrick Berge if you're in the area. He's going to be protesting because he's going to demand that the congressional knowledge system is not in Germany. We should not be having communications between our Congress, our House Intelligence Committee, and all these people housed in Germany. If you look on Big League Politics, I'd written an article titled Hurricane Electric. I've put the server names, the companies, IP addresses, all my articles from the website, my data that was stolen, right? While I was at court running around between juvenile court, adult court with our friend Matt, who
trying to help me and help my kids from,
they deleted my website or stole my website and my emails and said that they would give it to me, but they didn't. This is theft. And on there, I have tons and tons of Easter eggs because I've been putting them all over the place for those that can read between the lines. So,
but you've got other stuff other places, right?
Well, I've written for Lumerd. I did a lot of the Ukrainian and how I exposed Ilhan Omar having secret meetings with the Turkish prime minister and Rouhani, the Iranian prime minister or supreme leader, whatever they call him. So, yeah, I have a lot of stuff there. You guys can find me on wherever they let me be, but I am everywhere. Sometimes
but there's a nice account you could follow called Tweet Words.
Yeah, totally. And I'm on Subscribestar. Totally. Tweet Words. Yeah, but you can find me almost everywhere. And
there might be a future website coming soon. Who knows? I don't know. There might be.
Yeah, we should migrate to regular websites.
But anyway, let's close this out. It's getting late here, guys. We will be keeping you updated. We're probably going to be popping on here doing streams very often and further revealing more information because there's, more stuff.
And guys, get in touch with your senators, your Congress people. Demand to find out. The receipts are on there. It's in the video. We showed it to you. Demand answers. Demand that we don't have these contractors. Demand that we don't have Congress's knowledge base outside of the United States. This should not be allowed. Get in contact, be loud, and tell them Shadowgate gave it all to us. You better do something.
Exactly.
That's the way it is.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much, guys. And one more time, I'm just going to thank you for continuing to support and stay by my side and Tore's side throughout these hard times that we've been going through, throughout the attacks we've been going through. So just remember to follow us. You can follow me, Millie Weaver _Weaver on Twitter, Millennial Millie on YouTube, Millie Weaver on Facebook, and millennialmillie.com. Tore says
on everywhere. So I'm on Instagram, Twitch, DLive, Facebook, YouTube, but I'm not allowed to post because I got a community strike because Shadowgate was hate speech.
She got struck for Shadowgate.
And so you can find me there. I'm on Parler, as Tore says.
How is that? I mean, it's not ridiculous hate speech.
Well, Gab said that it's going to be the first movie that they're going to
Do you see what they're doing, guys? They'll say hate speech just to police and censor content of political speech that they don't like or agree with. Just because there was nothing in that video even close to be considered like hateful or racist or anything at all. But that's what they used, hate speech, to censor this documentary that exposes the deep state.
That's okay. But Gab is a place of free speech and Parler. And Gab is actually starting Gab TV. And they said that Shadowgate will be the first movie that they host on Gab TV. Andrew Torba
That's
gabbed that
nice.
out. Yeah, that was great because we're being silenced. And those people that fight against censorship, fight against cancel culture, hypocrites, you know, whatever. So God bless everyone.
Jumping to conclusions,
Well,
right?
yeah.
Well,
we have to say
anyway,
that.
thank you so much, guys. Again, we're going to be signing off here. And remember to check on our social media platforms while they're still there so that we can keep you updated. So thanks so much and good night. And God bless America. And God bless patriots like you.
God bless, guys. Have a great evening.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me running? Can you hear me running? Can you hear me calling you?